Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to January 16, 2025. There's about 25 minutes left of trading today, including 15 minutes of normal trading and then the 10-minute closing auction. And overall, today's been pretty good. Not a surprise because of what happened overnight on Wall Street. I think it was NASDAQ up 2.5%, Dow Jones up 1.6%, S&P 500 up 1.8%, driven by better than expected CPI numbers. And it's still really surprising, maybe not surprises, intrigues me that it seems like the equity markets in Australia, United States, maybe in other countries as well, is being driven by expectations of interest rates. And that also has to do with inflation. So inflation, interest rates, they're all linked together. And that is what's driving not only our markets, but also our sentiment. And today we saw sentiment shift like that on the back of CPI numbers. And I suppose if we are long in the markets, equity markets, we're happy about that. If you're short, if you're heavily invested in B-Bear or whatever it's called, B-Bus, you're probably not happy today. So it just shows you that sentiment can shift quite drastically and immediately just on the back of some economic news. So don't discount the power of economic news, particularly if it surprises the market. So CPI numbers came in a little bit better than expected. Not a lot, but just a little better. And that is all it can take. Anyway, so let's have a look at the ASX today. So what I'm going to do in today's video, we'll have a look at the ASX today, the best and worst performing sectors, indices, companies. Then we'll go through some companies that have released interesting announcements today. No top 5 stocks of the day. Again, nothing of massive note has been released today. So Medicus released another contract. Whoopie-doo. They've been doing that quite frequently the last month. A few quality production results from Rio Tinto, Catalyst, Genesis, Orobanda. An interesting announcement from Condor Energy, fairly small company, and then a few other companies in there as well. Now, one thing I didn't do, a lot of times before I start recording the video, I will go through the announcements that were released since last time I looked. So that's from about 10:21 a.m. And there have been a few interesting announcements here which I have not had a look at, including Integrated Research, Financial Year 25 half-year interim results guidance and training update. This is the sort of announcement I'm always looking for. So this could be positive or negative. I have no idea because it doesn't mention it in the title of the announcement. So I'm going to open this particular announcement up with a little bit of interest, because I have no idea what's happened just yet. Now, once we have a look at the ASX today, it might be in the best performing companies or the worst performing companies. So we'll get an idea if it is, if this particular announcement from Integrated Research is positive or negative. Based off the chart, I'd say greater chance it's negative. A company called Connexion Mobility also released a quarterly report. I'd like to have a look at that. Archer released a price query or response to price query. That's not a surprise because the share price rallied a fair bit on no news. And there is a bit of a takeover bid war for Vonix between Swoop and this other company. And looks like there's a bit of an update to that. Update on takeover offers for the Vonix. Scheme to be cancelled. There you go. So maybe the bidding war has come to an end. Okay, so let's have a look at the ASX today. And it's been a good day. What's there to talk about? Although, yeah, even tech. Yeah, tech has drifted lower. So tech was up a fair bit and has drifted lower, but nothing to complain about today unless you short the market. Unless you short the market, maybe you're complaining. Anyway, so best performing sectors. Financials. Okay, this is not a surprise. American banks released their results overnight, and wowzers, did they beat expectations? So there was a pretty big rally on the banks overnight on Wall Street. So we're talking about Citigroup, I mean. Share price up, what was it, 6.5%. Goldman Sachs, I forget what the ticker, GS maybe? Goldman Sachs. Try to remember what other companies, up 6%. What other financial companies released? Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, I'm probably missing a few in there. But yeah, so a pretty good night for financial companies. Now, look at these charts. Goldman Sachs chart looks brilliant. Citigroup chart looks brilliant. And they look actually fairly similar to the Aussie banks. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some pretty good rebound in CBA today. I'd say it's up 2 to 3%, 2.69%. Even ANZ up, I'd say maybe 3 to 4% possibly. not 2.55%. So not a surprise to see the Aussie banks going on a bit of a run today because of the good results in America for the banks over there. Now, in saying that, I'd say the banks in America might be better value, but I'm not absolutely sure about that. Anyway, so back to the ASX today. A good day for real estate. Again, that's linked to inflation. So if we expect interest rates to be higher for longer, that's bad news for real estate or REITs. IT, materials, industrials, energy, all had a pretty good day. The only sector that hasn't had a good day is utilities, although healthcare hasn't had a really good day either. So utilities down, healthcare relatively flat. Banks, probably the best sector, not best performing part of the market today, up 2.43%. Gold's had a pretty good day. We saw a pretty good rally in gold and Bitcoin as well, and nothing really to complain about. So if we turn our attention to the ASX 20, and when I say nothing to complain about, I'm being general, I'm being broad, because there will be some people complaining, particularly people who have heavily invested in the one company, and there's probably a few companies that are down today. It always happens. A few companies bucking the trend. Anyway, so ASX 20. No surprise, 17 up, 3 down. I might have thought maybe 18 or 19 up and 1 or 2 down. So which 3 companies are down today? Telstra, Pro, Medicus. This is surprise. So it seems like the market doesn't really care that a company releases or announces another contract, which Pro Medicus has been doing quite frequently. 1 contract win, but when you do have 3 contract wins in 1 month, I can understand why the market absolutely loves this company. And CSL down as well. Best performing companies in the ASX 20, banks. Banks and real estate. Macquarie, Goodman, CBA, ANZ, NAB, and then we have WiseTech, which is, well, has been down the last few days. Okay, now let's turn our attention to, actually, before we do this, let's have a look at Integrated Research, their trading update. So we can see if this is positive or negative. And okay. So TCV and statutory revenue expected to be at the upper end of previous guidance, down against previous corresponding period due to softer first half renewal books as previously disclosed. Yes, they did disclose that, but up at the upper end of previous guidance. So that actually is positive. EBITDA expected to exceed previous guidance range, down by 62% against previous corresponding period. So it's not how they compare to the previous corresponding period. It's about how they compare to any sort of previous guidance. So we are seeing some positive things here from Integrated Research. So I would expect to see the share price up a fair bit. Significant improvement in new business versus previous corresponding period. Stronger renewal books in the second half. Disciplined cost management. Cash at bank steady at 31 million. So I would have liked to have seen that increase, that cash on hand, but it does seem like this is positive. If you just sort of ignore the last column there, it's all positive just because it seems like it's better than expected. In fact, I also mentioned here, due to a strong finish to the first half. Okay, so some positive commentary there as well. So I would expect the share price to be up 8.43%. In fact, it was up a little bit more than that, got up to 48 cents. So it looks like the share price was up almost 15, 16% at the peak today, just after they released the results or this announcement. We'll have a look at the chart for Integrated Research right now. And we can see why there has been a little bit of selling today, because the chart has been in a bit of a funk recently. Yeah, call it what it will, what it is. It's been in a downtrend. So possibly the market's getting this one wrong. So things are moving along a little bit better than expected. So what I'd like to see is the share price starting to move in an uptrend. I'm not sure we're going to get that because the share price has dropped. Sentiment is a little bit negative, and it's going to take a fair bit to turn around the sentiment in this company. But a good update. Now, what you could do is you could put a floor at the share price at these levels in anticipation the share price won't drop. There is a nice support area at about 41 cents. So if you see the share price drop to, say, 41 cents, that could be a good buying opportunity. Maybe, particularly if they start to release more positive announcements moving forward. So this is one where maybe the market's got a little bit wrong. Integrated Research. There was another one here from Connexion Mobility, quarterly report. It's going to open this up. Fairly small company, but they are profitable, cash flow positive. They provide some sort of software to car dealerships in the United States, something like that anyway. Fairly small, not much growth. So revenue of 2.8 million, that's in a quarter. So we're talking about analyzed, $11 million in a year, 6% higher than the prior quarter. Gross profit of 1.93 million. Earnings per share of 0.077 US cents, up 71% over prior quarter. And profit before tax of around about $1 million, and operating cash flow positive by about 170,000. So still a fairly small company, nice little growth in this particular quarter compared to the previous one. Let's have a look to see, that's all they do. They don't do a Appendix 4C. And let's just have a look at how the market has reacted. Share price up 1.92%. And we'll have a look at the chart for this one as well. And the share price did rally a fair bit, back to February 2023. So we're talking about 2 years ago. I can't believe that was that long ago. And the share price has been sort of grinding higher slowly. But this is not a company that I have much interest in at this point in time. Even though it's profitable, I'd like to see a little bit more growth with revenue. Okay, so let's go back to this. A company called VIP Gloves did really well because of COVID-19. Gloves, hello, health gloves. And then they just fell off the radar. They did release 2 Appendix 4Cs. They must be halted. Yeah, share price is 0.3 cents. Should I even open this up? Yeah, why not open it up? Let's open it up. And we'll have a look at a company that is probably not on my radar and never will be on my radar. Cash receipts of 214,000. Operating cash flow negative 354. I don't even think I'm going to go any further with this one. Legal action update, disposable of fixed assets. And we'll have a look at the chart for this one because a few years ago, this company was highly operating cash flow positive, manufacturing gloves. I think it was in Indonesia or something like that. There it is. You can see the share price went on a massive tear in 2020. In fact, the share price went all the way up to 22 cents. Now it's 0.3 cents. And you can have a look at the chart. There's been no reason to even be thinking about buying shares in this company. So let's move on to the next one. Anything else here? I think that's it. I'll have a look at this Vonex and Swoop thing after I finish recording this video. And I might also have a look at the ASX price query response from Artria. So let's have a look at the top gainers today. I would assume Condor Energy is near the top, and it is. Share price up 47.37%, 1.5 million turnover. The reason I knew this is not because I opened up the announcement. It's simply because I am a member of a group, and someone actually did mention this company as having really good drilling results or something. So I knew straight away the share price was going to be up a fair bit because they sort of mentioned it. So up 52.63%. I don't really look at these gas hits, but this person was really bullish. In fact, this person said you don't usually see these sort of hits from a company with a markup of $15 million. So I'll just have to trust that person. So Piedra Redonda gas field beat estimate resource, or best estimate resource of 1 TCF. Total calories, joules, I don't know. What is TCF? 1 trillion cubic feet. There you go. I was way off on that one. 1 trillion cubic feet. Now, the problem with this is I have no way to compare this to anything else. So again, I have to trust that this is a pretty good hit. 1 trillion cubic feet, 147% increase in 2C resources, and 513% increase in 3C resources. Okay, so maybe I should do more research on these sort of results or resource thingies, whatever you call it. Significant upgrade, just talked about that. So they went from 404 billion cubic feet to 1 trillion cubic feet. Sounds impressive. 1 trillion cubic feet. So let's have a look at the chart for Condor Energy. Is this a breakout? We have seen a little bit of selling today. I'll give you that. And it's understandable why there's been selling. You see this a lot. Share price in a bit of funk, dropped a fair bit, company releases a good announcement, and we see people selling their company. They don't care that it's a positive announcement. They just know the share price has dropped since they bought. It's a dog stock. I've got to get out. Sure, if share price is up, I'm going to sell. Some of them probably don't even know the company released a good announcement. They just see the share price up and they just have to get out. Massive volume coming in today. So the best thing for Condor Energy is to have seen the share price not rally over the past year, to see the share price go sideways. And if they did release this announcement and the share price had gone sideways for the past year and the share price was at a multi-year high, the share price, this would be a breakout. This would be a brilliant breakout, big volume coming through, but we have seen a little bit of selling. Share price as high as 3.5 cents. Now it's 2.8 cents. So yeah, there we go. And hopefully you can see why there's been selling, why there's been a bit of pressure on the share price. A lot of shareholders bought at high prices in the past year. Anyway, so that's Condor Energy. It had the potential to be the stock of the day, but it's a fairly small company. And to be honest with you, I've never heard of this company before. In fact, I don't think I've got it in my watch list, so I could be wrong. None of my watch lists. I'm going to put this into, I'll put this there. I'll put it into watch list. Anyway, so it's Condor Energy. It looks like Galilee Energy up a fair bit, but fairly low turnover. And a lot of these other companies have done well today on fairly low turnover. Sparc Technologies, I did not put this one down, up 21.43%. I've been looking at the share price movement of this company because it's been quite volatile after a pretty good 2-day period. Was it last week? They did announce some sort of IP. I think it's IP. It's a Sparc Hydrogen secures first patent. I'm not usually trigger happy when I see a first patent. I don't really care about that sort of thing. But it seems like the market, although the share price is only up 11.4% on this. So share price, where is it? The share price has been sold off recently, only down a little bit. Anyway, so let's have a look at chart for Sparc Technologies. And you'll just see the massive 2-day share price rise. Share price pulled back, hit the 25-day moving average, and it's taken off again. I think I might have mentioned that. That could be support area for Sparc Technologies. Okay, let's go back to top gainers. I forgot where I was. And nothing much else here. Adisyn doing well again. AI1. Just going to have a quick look at this chart. Because the share price is at 10 cents. I'm always interested when the share price is at 10 cents. So it's come from below, hitting 10 cents, big volume coming through today. It's going to try to break 10 cents. It tried a couple of weeks ago on the 6th of January and then fell away. So again, 10 cents is a really powerful resistance or support level. So it's trying to get above 10 cents. So it might do it. And if it succeeds, I think it could keep on going up. So this could be an interesting trade just because where the share price is right now at 10 cents. The more interesting play would have been to buy it on this dip from 10 cents down to 7 cents. That would have been the more interesting play. And you can just see the really good volume coming through as well. So for some reason, the market really likes this company. I don't know why. I'm just looking at the chart. So Adisyn's had a good day, and that's about it. So green critical minerals. No, I won't. Let's have a look at the top gainers by market cap. Zip, bounce. Not surprised, Zip. I actually had a look at Zip, was it yesterday or the day before? And I was thinking, we're starting to see signs the share price is starting to roll over. You can see these two highs back in November and December, even a sort of a double top there. The next high was a little bit lower. And if we saw the share price go below 280, that would be a really negative move. Good day today, up 9.1%. So don't have to think about selling this one just yet. But there are signs that maybe the really good uptrend is coming to an end. But if we do see continued positive sentiment in equity markets, maybe share price will go on another really good run for Zip. And if it gets above 350, that would be a really good move. Neuren, down a lot yesterday, up a lot today. What's happening there? I don't know. There was one explanation from Ben Hutchinson at Neuren. I'm guessing yesterday's 8% fall was market concern about the tiered sales royalty in the announcement described as mid-teen to low 20%. Apparently, hot copper, the prior US royalty rate was slightly higher, and then the share price is up 10%. I think it's more noise than anything. So if you go back to Neuren Pharmaceuticals, it looked really negative yesterday, and it's now, so that I would actually call yesterday a false break, a day where, I don't know, it could be capitulation because we've seen the share price rally today and it's gone back above that support level of $12. Market can do this sometimes too. Market can drive you crazy if you let it. Imricor, some pretty, 40 Medicals had a pretty good day as well. What was the other one I said? Imricor Medical Systems, MTM Critical Metals. I was wanting to see this one drop a little bit more. I was wanting to see this one drop to about 22, 23 cents, but the 4-day drop, now see the rally again. So maybe one thing you could do is put a line here. This is the uptrend. It doesn't really fit. It's not the perfect fit. Anyway. And what else do we have here? Biome, Somnomed. Oh, MLG Oz. Share price up 11.4%. They actually did release an announcement today in regards to some sort of contract with Northern Star. MLG sells 45 million of contracts with Northern Star. I have spoken about whether I or not I react to contracts like this, and typically I don't. Don't know the margins, don't know if they undercut their competitors. I just don't know. I don't usually jump at these sort of contracts. One way I will jump is if they released numerous contract wins. That could make a difference, particularly if it's a higher quality company like Medicus. But MLG, not really interested in this one, and particularly when you have a look at the chart. Chart has been definitely in a bit of a downtrend recently, and not sure if this is the end of that downtrend. I'm not saying it just yet. I'm not calling it just yet that this is the end of the downtrend. Still in a downtrend. We need to see the share price not fall from here. Okay, so that's MLG, and that is one company I was going to talk about, by the way. MLG, Condor. So let's go back to the top gainers, and that's probably it. So we can move on to the top losers today. Losers. We're going to see probably companies down on fairly low turnover. Yep. Until we get to energy transition minerals, down 14% on fairly good turnover, and that is a relatively bigger company. I'm just going to have a look at the chart. I don't think this company released anything. I think it could just be profit taking, if I had a guess. So we're in the closing auction. Company update released a few days ago. Oh, that's right. Julie Bishop. The market really liked that Julie Bishop and Partners, and appointed as strategic advisor. So this could be just profit taking after a pretty good run in the share price. So let's just confirm that. Yeah, look at that. Run the share price, couple of down days. It's just profit taking. The thing to keep an eye on is volume. So we have seen dropping volume the last few days. So those who probably want to sell out are selling out right now. And if we don't see much volume tomorrow and the share price doesn't do anything, that could be a sign that the share price has hit a bottom and the share price could go up again. But other than that, nothing much here. So there's nothing here. So let's have a look at the top losers by market cap. Vulcan Steel, no. Pantoro, no. There's nothing here. The worst thing, SPC Global was sort of oscillating above and below $1. It's now quite a bit below $1, about 10 cents below. I'm not sure what's happening with this company. SPC Global hasn't been listed long, and I don't like what's happening with the chart here. The share price has collapsed to about 90 cents. That's actually a pretty negative move for me. So even though the chart is not that long, it's not a good move for SPC Global. Most of the other companies here just down because of who knows what. Some companies down on $365 of trading. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a chat about some of the companies. I probably won't talk about Genesis Minerals. They did release their quarterly. Share price up 4%. So it seems like it has been well received. Let's have a quick look at the chart. I did have a quick look at this one. It wasn't, no surprises in it, if I remember. And the chart looks pretty good. Genesis Minerals looks pretty good. It's a nice looking chart for this company. Rio Tinto released their quarterlies. No, that's New York Stock Exchange. Let's see what's happened on the ASX. It's flat. Nothing of interest there for Rio Tinto. And to be honest with you, when I look at their results, nothing of massive interest there. Ora Banda share price was down a fair bit on open, and then it has recovered. I did have a quick look at this one. So down 1.3%. And I saw nothing of note in Ora Banda's results either. Catalyst Metals or Minerals, Catalyst Minerals, Metals. Callus Metals has also released their quarterly, and this looks like a nice little turnaround for Callus Metals. Share price up 4.47%. Okay, so those are some of the quarterlies that were released today of production companies, producing mining companies. Now let's have a look at Bell Financial Group. BFG, I am trading this one, and I've been questioning why I am trading this one. They did release their unaudited 4-year results. 4-year profit of after tax 30.7 million, up 26%. Nothing wrong with what I saw here. So nice growth in revenue. Up, what was it? So where is it? Up 12%, and profit up 26%. So maybe a bit of margin expansion there. When you see profit up more than revenue, could be a good sign. So up to 30.7 million, a nice growth. Now this company was hit 3 years ago because of some concerns with money laundering. Those concerns were assuaged, if that is a word, were alleviated maybe. So let's go back. Oh, that's a weekly chart. So these was back in, wasn't that long ago. I thought it was longer than that. So we're talking about August 2024. No, yeah, that it wasn't there. It was way back. It was way further back. For some reason, I thought that was it. No, you can see the share price dropping a lot back in 2001, 2022. And at some point here, it could have been in June 2022, they just mentioned that there was some laundering concerns, and those concerns were sort of not founded. And I thought maybe the share price could rebound back up to where we saw it before those concerns of money laundering. And it really hasn't got that up there just yet. So I got interested in this company on this little breakout back in November 2023. It looked pretty good. Share price has been going sideways. There's been no reason for me to sell out because it hasn't fallen through $1.22. And I've been thinking, if it just drops below, I'll just sell. But we don't see any trend here. And I was thinking on hoping that these results, because they're pretty good, maybe that would lead to the share price going on a run. No, not so far. The other thing is this company is not expensive. P ratio of like 13 or 14 and growth of profit of 26%. You're not going to see that with any banks, and a nice dividend yield as well. So I suppose I'm in no rush to sell this trading position because I see value and I'm also getting a nice dividend yield. So that's Bell Financial Group. Pro Medicus. Share price down after announcing a $33 million 9-year contract with University of Kentucky. So they are moving into the university area. There's another word for it. And I actually mentioned that word, which academic, that's the word. So 9-year contract with the University of Kentucky, the preeminent academic health system in the state of Kentucky. Well, there's not much competition there in the state of Kentucky. Maybe University of Louisville, University of Western Kentucky. No, University of Kentucky is the university in Kentucky. So that's not the best statement, to be honest with you. But the thing about Pro Medicus, it isn't these sole contract wins. So in the past month, we've seen this company announce 3 contract wins. So collectively, it's actually really impressive. And that's why the chart for Pro Medicus looks like this. Probably would have seen a bit of a pullback. Not much of a pullback. I actually expected a bit of a pullback here. Now, I can understand why the share price is sort of going sideways right now. We saw a really good run up in the share price. They released their results in November, the AGM in November, well received, and it deserves a bit of a breather. In fact, a bit of a breather here for the share price will be quite powerful. What Pro Medicus has to prove to us as the market and investors, is they can continue to significantly grow their revenue, maintain their margins, leading to significant growth in profit because they want to, they need to. Because if they don't, if this company falters, the share price will fall and could fall a fair bit. Anyway, so that's Pro Medicus. Okay announcement today. And finally, only one to go. And this is sort of company I don't usually look at. Mirrabooka Investments. But they released results today. And I thought, half-year report and accounts as at 31st of December 2024. And I'm thinking, is this the first results for the half-year or year we've seen? Maybe. It's usually Corvest who release their results. So I do expect Corvest, C or KOV, to release their results within the next week or so. And the reason I say that is they're typically the first one to release the results. But here, I might be wrong here. So Corvest, if you go back, say, 2 years, so last year they released their results on the 22nd. So yeah, within the next week. I've always thought of Corvest to release the first results. And then we see this LIC or something release their results. I actually did have a look at it. Half-year report and accounts just released before trading. This fund manager, LIC, is actually doing quite well. They do compare. So finding opportunities in small and medium-sized companies. So straight away, this is a leg up from most of these sort of companies who just invest in the large caps. I don't mind these sort of investing companies because they can find opportunities, as I said, in small and medium-sized companies, and they can beat the market. And this fund manager is beating the market and consistently beating the market. So 12.6% return per year versus 10.2%. In the last 5 years, significant beating, 12.3% compared to 7.8%. That's not really the thing that draws me in. It's their transactions. They do mention what they have sold, what they have bought. I think they put a little bit of a table here somewhere. Here it is. Major transactions in the investment portfolio. So they have acquired New Zealand listed channel infrastructure, Cuscal, which is a recent IPO. In fact, I don't know much about Cuscal, CCL. So nothing on the chart just yet. It's just too much of a recent listing for me to even look into that company. They've also bought some Life 360, Cobram Estate Olives, and Serve Corp. I can't complain about those acquisitions, and they're disposed of PSC Insurance because of a takeover, Pinnacle Investment Management Group, JB Hi-Fi, PEXA, and Index. And they've also added new companies to portfolio. So some of these acquisitions, they probably already own some shares. And it's just what I do find interesting is the reasoning why they've bought and sold. And they do go into reasoning. They also mentioned the strong relative outperformance. It's actually really good outperformance has come from Gentrack, Pinnacle, Temple Webster, Macquarie Technology Group, Netwealth, and Redox. And they have an underweight in resource companies, which will help. Now, they do go to the reasons why they've sold some. For instance, JB Hi-Fi is mentioned here. Why did they sell JB Hi-Fi? By the way, some of the meaningful detractors to performance, IDP Education, which is looking interesting. And don't be surprised if IDP Education is in my top stock picks for 2025. Tourism Holdings, another possibility there. Domino's Pizza, Aldernate, and Corporate Travel. But they do go into why they sold JB Hi-Fi. So we exited 3 stocks, JB Hi-Fi, a company that we continue to rate very highly, but where we felt the evaluation was overly demanding against its growth prospects. And I'll be honest with you, I can't disagree with JB Hi-Fi, but share price just keeps on going up. We also talk about why they sold Domino's and Index. Okay, so even though I would never take a position in this sort of company, I still have a look. I still want to know. And let's have a look at the chart for Mirrabooka. And to be honest with you, the chart doesn't look half bad. There's a bit of a resistance right there. You can see share price. He's having trouble getting above 345. And another thing you put here is this looks like an ascending triangle, maybe. So there could be a breakout soon for Mirrabooka Investments. I might trade it. Maybe I will trade it. Okay, so that's all I have for the stocks of the day. Let's have a look at a few of your comments. Sankau Pakanaki, I'd say Sri Lankan. Sankau, that looks like a Sri Lankan name. I could be completely wrong. And if I am wrong, I ask for your forgiveness. Thanks for another good video. Are you able to do technical analysis of LV1? Live view, is it? LV1? Live Verdure. I'm just having a look. Okay. There was a company, it could be another company, it's definitely in the air. There was a company that had the ticker code LV that is delisting. So I just want to make sure it wasn't live Verdure. I don't know anything about this company at all. So let's have a look at the chart. And my first thought would be, it's not a bad looking chart. So it has the signs of a nice little uptrend. Now, we did see the share price get to a high in late November, and I'd want to see the share price get above $1, definitely, and stay above $1 because it is trying to get above the previous high. So the chart looks good. Some really good volume in November, December as well. I do like that increase in volume. We saw a pretty good increase in volume in April, May. That sort of coincided with the share price increasing. An interesting pullback on lower volume, and then the share price took off again in August. That could be around the results. I don't know anything about this company. I couldn't even tell you what they do, and I'm not sure why, because the chart looks interesting. Is the company profitable? Well, based off trading view, it's not. Revenue of 1.94 million. I suppose I could have a look at the Appendix 4C, but I'm not going to do that. So anyway, I don't mind the chart. It's not the worst chart I've ever seen. It's not the greatest chart I've ever seen, but I'd like to see the share price get above $1, just so it can get above these old highs. We want to see higher highs and higher lows. And it'd be really good if that higher high came on some really good volume. James M6431 says NHC. That's it. What are defensive stocks? He's saying NHC, New Hope, is a defensive stock. I don't know if I agree with that. I'll say I disagree. Maybe he just wanted a chart. This is not an interesting chart. Share price just going sideways. So at this point in time, it's not interesting. Doesn't mean it won't be interesting in another month. If we start to see coal prices going up, and if New Hope starts going up as well, say if it gets above, say, 530, this could be an interesting looking chart. But right now, it's not interesting. Is it defensive? No, I don't. I would not consider New Hope to be defensive. Vin Healy says, would you consider Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing company, whatever it's called, the best defensive and growth stock out there? It makes all the chips for AI, NVIDIA, Apple, everyone. No one comes close. 30% year-on-year growth. What I'm going to do here is TSCM. So I did buy TCSM. What is it again? I thought it was TSCM. T Taiwan. It's terrible that it's TSM. I am a shareholder of this company, and I don't even know the ticker code. And I've been a shareholder for a while. TSM. That's right. That's the company, but it's TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. What I'm going to do now is, this won't pick up all the cycles of the economy. So I really need a 20-year history here. All I'm doing is I just want to see how this company has grown their revenue. So we did see a little bit of pullback in 2023. That might mean nothing. Consistent growth in revenue over time. I don't know. Is it a purely defensive company? No, there's no purely defensive companies out there. I think it's close. I think it is close, particularly in the environment we're in. This company will be needed and will be needed more. It could be even considered a strategic company as well. So I would say it's very close. Yeah, the best defensive and growth stock out there. Yeah, like Alphabet is actually not defensive. I wouldn't even say Apple's defensive. Microsoft, NVIDIA, maybe not. I wouldn't say that is as defensive. Definitely not Tesla. Am I forgetting anything? Maybe one of Visa, Mastercard. I don't think they have better growth profiles than TSCM. I might have to agree with you, Vin Healy. I've already talked about that. Okay, that's all I've got. And happy now, I think. Experience a storm. Yes, a storm. it's funny because Happy now mentioned here, market is on struggle street, and with the storms, I'm not sure how this helps those insurance companies. So you just see market is on struggle street like that. Looks like sentiment might have just shifted just like that. And maybe Rick Thilling says, missed some of the news, some stores closing in February. Is that Baby Bunting? Yeah, I don't remember seeing that, but I suppose they could be closing stores. There you go. And Ryan Mott says, thanks for showing us the historical P ratio on Technology One. Would you consider showing us this in future stock of the day videos to mark your enthusiasm? Well, mate, I could, and I will when it's relevant. That's the thing. Sometimes it's not going to be relevant for some companies. Okay, that's all I have for this particular video. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.